With all eyes now on next year's flagship lineup, the Galaxy S25 series, which the firm will reveal just a few weeks into 2025, Samsung has no further flagship phone announcements remaining for the rest of this year. What the new flagship will and won't have has been much discussed. Rumor has long surrounded a significant RAM capacity increase. A source has now confirmed the change. A 16 GB RAM Galaxy S25 Ultra model is 100% confirmed, says ex-tipster Ice Universe. Although the tipster had already mentioned as much RAM capacity without specifically identifying the Galaxy S25 Ultra, with the allegation being reaffirmed today, there is no uncertainty anymore. Not only does the RAM capacity get upgraded, earlier studies have also shown that the Galaxy S25 Ultra might acquire the newest LPDDR6 DRAM modules, which would be a cut above the rest from anything on the market right now, therefore producing a clear performance and efficiency improvement. More fascinating is the chipset this RAM will be matched to. The latest Snapdragon 8 Elite from Qualcomm is allegedly going to run the gadget. Designed on TSMC 3nm manufacturing technique, this is the company's newest flagship chipset. The chipset may possibly bring considerable gains in CPU and GPU performance, in addition to making major advancements in AI performance. I shall speak more on this as we go ahead. While the Galaxy S20 and S21 Ultra both sported 16 GB RAM models before Samsung gave 12 GB as the maximum on following top-tier phones. So this will be the first time in a few years that company increases the memory back up to 16. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is the hottest story this week. We learned that it would be slimmer than the Galaxy S24 Ultra at 8.2mm and that it will have thinner side bezels too. Enough to outdo Apple's newest iPhone 16 Pro Max. We also learned the battery capacity of the S25 series. A 4,900 mAh unit in the S25 Plus equals its predecessor. The S25 will have the same 4,000 mAh unit as its predecessor. And unexpectedly, the S25 Ultra will match the S24 Ultra's 5,000 mAh unit. Xiaomi revealed official press renderings of the Redmi Note 14 Pro and Pro Plus. The Ju will debut in China next week. Both feature curved screens and 3 camera islands, the Pro with a dome glass design and the 14 with 4 distinct lenses. Apple launched iOS 18 to the people. It supports a wide variety of iPhones from the iPhone XR to the newest 16 units. iOS 18 introduces a plethora of improvements, including the option to modify the design of your icons, position them wherever you desire on the home screen, and much more. We still have a bit to wait for the Samsung Galaxy S25 series debut, and in the meanwhile, the leaks simply keep right on coming. The most current claims the forthcoming Galaxy S25 Ultra might have a design redesign that makes Samsung's premium flagship easier to grip than before. Several pictures appeared over the weekend from famed leaker Ice Universe showing off a supposed Galaxy S25 Ultra case. Based on what's there, it appears like the Galaxy S25 Ultra will shed the harsh edges of the Galaxy S24 Ultra and embrace a more rounded shape that's more pleasant to hold in your hand. This matches a previous Galaxy S25 Ultra report back in June that it will have a more rounded form than the other phones in its series, one that takes a page from the design of the Galaxy Note 7 from 2016. It might also offer narrower bezels than even the iPhone 16 Pro Max if the newest reports are to be believed. Though it's worth adding that, even with all this discussion about rounded designs, Samsung has made it plain it has no intentions to bring back curved displays. The photos also show off how the camera configuration may receive a modest tweak. 3 cutouts for sensors, likely for the main, ultra-wide, and periscope lenses, are lined up vertically in one column, while 3 smaller cutouts for the laser autofocus, LED flash, and 3 telephoto camera lie nearby. Compared to the S24 Ultra, the holes for the cameras are notably bigger and closer together, while the whole camera module is relocated closer to the top left corner of the phone's rear. For perspective, the current Galaxy S24 Ultra has a primary 200 megapixels camera, a 12 megapixels ultra-wide camera, a 10 megapixels telephoto lens with a 3x optical zoom, and a new 50 megapixels telephoto camera with a 5x optical zoom. Based on everything we've heard thus far, camera enhancements appear to be at the top of Samsung's to-do list for the S25 Ultra, which makes it an early favorite for our list of the best camera phones. Next, Samsung's anticipated Galaxy S25 Ultra has again showed up in the internet performance test Geekbench. But following its previous appearance in August, Samsung's next flagship looks to have packed on some muscle. The latest Galaxy S25 Ultra Geekbench entry, posted today, indicates increased CPU frequencies for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 SoC across the board. All CPU cores work at a greater performance level than previously. More precisely, this new Galaxy S5 Ultra Geekbench test showed a base frequency of 3.53 GHz for 6 CPU cores, up from 2.78 GHz, and a frequency of a stunning 4.47 GHz for the dual-core cluster, up from 4.09 GHz. As you may imagine, this new performance test for the Galaxy S25 Ultra and its Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 generated better Geekbench results. Even while synthetic benchmarks may not be the most realistic method to measure the real-world performance of a device, these new results offer us an indication of what the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4's increased CPU frequencies produce compared to the previous Geekbench entry. So, according to this new benchmark, the Galaxy S25 Ultra exceeds 3,011 points in the single-core test and 9,706 points in the multi-core test. Previously, the phone got 2,884 and 8,840 points in single and multi-core tests, respectively. Another intriguing comparison is between this new Galaxy S25 Ultra benchmark and the recent testing done on the newest iPhone 16 Pro Max. The latter topped about 3,400 and 8,300 points in the single and multi-core performance benchmarks. As usual, the iPhone exhibits greater single-core but worse multi-core performance than its Android rivals. Now regarding the Snapdragon X Elite. Well, Samsung has been employing proprietary high-end Snapdragon CPUs in its Galaxy Ultra series phones for the last couple of years, and the phone will likely repeat the trend next year. The Galaxy S25 Ultra was supposed to feature the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 for Galaxy CPU next year, but a fresh source indicates the device would have an entirely other moniker. The Snapdragon CPU seen on the Galaxy S25 Ultra might be termed the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This information comes from a teaser that Xiaomi issued on their future high-end phone. On Weibo, the Chinese manufacturer shared a picture of a phone's silhouette and said Xiaomi 15 on top of the image. It carries the moniker Snapdragon 8 Elite, possibly the ultimate name of Qualcomm's next top smartphone chip. This information looks genuine, considering Qualcomm is delivering its own Oryon CPU cores for the first time with its upcoming flagship processor. These are the same CPU cores that it created after purchasing Nuvia, and they have already been employed in the Snapdragon X Elite processor that was announced a few months ago for ARM-based Windows laptops. The business might apply the same Elite branding from its current premium laptop chip to its forthcoming flagship smartphone processor. The Snapdragon 8 Elite, with Oryon CPU cores and TSMC 3nm production process, meets the iPhone 16 Pro Max's A18 Pro chip in the single-core CPU test and outperforms Apple's chip in the multi-core CPU benchmark. Even the Adreno 830 GPU within the CPU is touted to be over 50% more powerful than the one inside the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Overall, the Snapdragon 8 Elite is projected to deliver huge performance benefits with next-generation premium Android phones like the Galaxy S25 Ultra. The only thing that needs to be evaluated is its stability under prolonged loads and power efficiency. It will be introduced at the Snapdragon Summit 2024 next month. It is yet uncertain whether Samsung will employ the Exynos 2500 processor in the Galaxy S25 and the Galaxy S25 Plus or outfit them with the Snapdragon 8 Elite globally. We're not expected to learn anything about Samsung's intentions for the Galaxy S25 lineup until January. In the meanwhile, make sure to check out our roundup of all the Galaxy S25 Ultra speculations, as well as our wish list of all the Galaxy S25 Ultra features we hope to see. Samsung and Apple have alternated leadership of the global smartphone industry for the last several years, every few months or so, without any other OEMs getting in the way. However, Xiaomi emerged out of the left field in August, and taking advantage of Apple's momentary slump, seized its spot. In August, Xiaomi became the second biggest smartphone maker by worldwide sell-through market share. It crept by Apple, whose market share plummeted lower than normal this time of year. Not by much, but it was enough to offer Xiaomi the possibility to ascend to a higher spot on the podium. Counterpoint research states that Xiaomi was one of the fastest-growing smartphone brands in the first half of 2024, and even though things might slow down for the company in H2, Xiaomi is expected to record double-digit growth for 2024. Interestingly, Apple hasn't lost to Xiaomi since August 2021. However, Xiaomi's victory in 2024 might be short-lived. Despite its growth rate, Apple just launched the iPhone 16 series, and that's bound to propel the company back in the second place before the end of the year. Samsung retained the lead in August by a large margin. Samsung also lead the worldwide smartphone market for the bulk of 2024 thus far, but once again, things may change if the iPhone 16 reaches more users. The next few weeks and months will be key. As for Xiaomi, industry experts suggest the company's new policy of launching one hero model per price band may have helped. Either way, Xiaomi remains a powerful brand in the sub-$200 area, and the business is also performing well in the mid-range market. So that's all we know for now. We'll be sure to keep you updated as soon as we have more information. Thanks for watching.